Area 51 and the alien takeover theory. Is there something to Area 51 other than aliens and top secret activity that is happening? Okay, is there something to these theories that is rumored to be taking place? I'm sure there's something to it because even military aircraft are not allowed to fly over that area. It's a no-fly area for some strange reason. It really is. So, welcome. And we're going to look at a few things about the aliens, since that's what they label them as, and the Area 51. I've pulled up a bunch of links on the internet, and thank you for joining. Thank you for coming on here. I'm going to come over here and click onto this YouTube channel so I can see the comments. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what it says. I am. Good evening. Hello, Apple Brooks. Hello, everyone. So let's look over here. I want to change this to live chat. I don't know if it matters any, but I wanted to change it to live chat. Yeah, welcome you all. This might be interesting. I think it is going to be a little bit interesting, just a tad bit. I don't know where we're going to end up or what we're going to find out. It'll be something about aliens. And hopefully we'll be able to expand on this theory, which some call a conspiracy theory. Indeed, there are many conspiracy theories out there. There are lots of them. So, you all, let's get started. Let's get started, you all. So I went to looking. I actually first started off looking at Og, the giant, the last of the giants, King Og. And I ended up on the aliens. That's what I ended up on, the aliens. So the battle between the aliens and humans from 1978 was real. So I don't know where this thing went to. I don't know where it went to, you all, but let me click into this, you all, if we can. Let's see where this takes us. I hadn't heard about this. I really haven't. I don't know if you all have heard about it. Hello, everyone. Yeah. Thank you for tuning in. I hope it's going to be fun to watch. I really do. So this kind of reminds me of the War of the Worlds. It looks like mechanical giant praying mantis legs. It really is what this looks like. And I guess you could say they have a praying mantis head. I've never seen this article before in my life. Never heard about this. The battle between aliens and humans from 1978 was real, claims an Area 51 former employee. Oh, so see, this is a story from November the 10th of 2020. Yeah, so the frightening statement comes not long ago from Thomas Castello, who previously worked for Area 51. As he claims, in 1978, there was a terrible battle between the aliens and the humans. But luckily, this terrible event was limited to only the area where humans practice experiments on alien beings. Well, I don't think that's nice to practice experiments on alien beings. I thought it would be the other way around, but I guess okay. Yes, hello, Starfire. So let's look at this, you all. We got this picture of something in these test tubes in some kind of a liquid-like state. It's probably from a movie or something. Castello specified that he was a photographer employed by the U.S. Army at that time, and once he was employed, he was required to sign a confidential agreement. Well, everyone, no matter where you work at, if you get a secret clearance or anything on up, you got to fill out these forms of confidential agreements. You do, no matter what it's for. Okay, there's many forms, so that's not too big. Okay, it's not, because it's very, very common. So look at this right here. This must have been from a movie, you all. In his report, he explains that there was an underground secret base for different experiments, tests, where many people, including children, went to look for a cure for illnesses. That's interesting. It really is interesting. We found in the recent disclosures from declassified documents that the methods practiced down there in the underground base were astral journeys and mind control. Well, I know a lot of people, they say that they astral travel. Okay, and of course, we know some people could be under mind control. There could be, you all. I think there might be something to it. I think there might be something to this. But the most shocking part of this narrative is the claim that some researchers working in the underground base were not human. They were aliens. Wow, they were aliens. Well, I don't think that's too far-fetched to believe. I really don't. If they're saying they were aliens, they probably were aliens, and they probably are still down there. Yeah, in this world that we live in, I think that's very quite plausible. Okay, and plausible. Possible and plausible. So let's look at this some more, you all. Sounds kind of interesting. It really does. I got a lot of tabs open, so let's see this, you all. There took place many experiments with humans. That doesn't make sense. But that's okay. And between volunteers, there were also people who were abducted by the aliens. Now, that is really true. There's a lot of people that get abducted by the aliens. Okay, they do. They get abducted by it. And some of the abductions that people have experienced is not very pleasant at all. It's not. If you've been somebody who's been abducted and you're a woman and or a man and you've had some not too nice things done to you, that would not be a pleasant experiment. Okay, and nobody's going to tell you that that abduction did not take place. Nobody's going to tell you that. So that, I think that's very true. All right. The alien researchers wanted to perfect the development of human-alien hybrids and cloning of aliens and humans. Well, I believe that that is very possible too. I really do, because there are people, I've heard, someone told me, Gina, you were a breeder. The aliens used you as a breeder. Okay, and some other people, I'm sure some of you have been told that, or some of you have unexplained instances of things that have happened, and you've been told that, or you've thought that yourself too, or you've seen. Some people have claimed to be taken to certain places where they saw these alien babies and hybrids, and they knew that it was theirs also. Okay, they knew that. Okay, so that stuff like that happens, you all. It does, and I'm not joking. I'm not. Okay, this stuff is real, whether people want to believe it or not. It's not all fairy tale, and it's not make-believe. Okay, it's not at all. So these researchers wanted to perfect the development of human-alien hybrids and the cloning of humans and aliens. So the former employee, Costello, when I see that name Costello, it really sticks out in my mind, because I forget where we were stationed. We were stationed at Nellis Air Force Base. My husband started off at Grissom Air Force Base. Then we went to the Presidio of Monterey. And then we went to Goodfellow Air Force Base. Then we went to Berlin, Germany at Tempelhof. Then we went to Nellis Air Force Base. Then we went to Fort George G. Meade. And then we went to Hickam Air Force Base. But the name Costello, I remember hearing and seeing it on somebody's uniform there that we had known in the military, the last name Costello. It's really kind of interesting. Of course, it wasn't back then in 1978, but still, that's beside the point, you all. That's beside the point. That name is sticking out to me. So a former employee said he knew that those people were abductees, and he recognized their faces because he had seen posters, oh my gosh, across the city about their missing. The conflict between aliens and humans appeared when the aliens wanted to indefinitely their genetic experiments on humans. That doesn't make sense. When they wanted to continue indefinitely, okay, their genetic experiments on humans. Well, they probably just wanted to, maybe the survival of their species or something. Maybe. So the aliens wanted to constantly kidnap many people for these experiments. Not long after Costello made this disclosure, he disappeared. And if he's still alive, no one knows. So that's really interesting, you all. So that was one of them. You know what I should do? I'm gonna paste in here every single article that we click into so that we can keep tab of it in here. Isn't that good? I think that'd be perfect. I do. I think that's good. We can just do that. Hello, and thank you for coming in here. So we've clicked in that one right there. As you can see, let's go back. Have I, is this the one we did? Let's see, news intact. Let me see. Yeah, we did it. Yes, we did this. Okay, so I want to click out of that one because we've already got that in here. So, let me see something else. So let me look at this one. So this is another one that I had opened. So this is the same one right here. So I'm not going to read that one again. Okay. So look at this. Top 10 alleged battles between humans and aliens. I've never heard this either, you all. I haven't. This is May of 2016. May of 2016. And if you're just tuning in, we're talking about Area 51 and how it ties in with these aliens. Okay, and the theory of alien takeover of humanity or something like that. Hello, Al Sanchez. So let's look at this. So I haven't read this either. There are many UFO sightings in the world, but few involve military encounters or police chases. These are some of the most exciting alleged engagements between human forces and extraterrestrial visitors. So Iran intercepts a UFO, and I'm sure they did. So the Iranian Air Force commanders working in Tehran in 1976 began to receive calls from civilians who reported weird lights in the skies over the city. And at first they thought maybe it was a star. And this general stepped outside, and he promptly ordered his fighters to launch and to intercept it. So some F-4 Phantom fighters scrambled, and they closed within the visual distance of the object. It was a ball with a flashing light. Okay, there's those objects again, the flashing light in the shape of a ball. So they fired a missile. And as soon as they activated the missile, the airplane lost all electrical power and the system shorted out. He dived away, regaining electrical power as soon as he fell away from the object. So then once again, the object detached itself from the first, diving down to the ground and coming to rest on the desert surface. So they went to the place where it landed. Nothing. There was nothing there, you all, at all. They found a small beeper transponder. They point that the light may have been the planet Jupiter. No, you know better than that, you all. No, I don't think it was Jupiter. It wasn't. It was something much different, something of alien nature, some kind of alien, extraterrestrial, interdimensional, fakuka. I'm not going to say that F word, you all. I am not. Hey, look at that. Doesn't that look like one of the images at the observatory, the Canada, France, Hawaii telescope? It had something like this on it. And then a dotted line is what it had, that like that, and a dotted line. Let me see this. Let me put this back to me because that's what that reminds me of right there. Kind of reminds me of this just slightly. It reminds me of that just slightly. But we're going to get back to this, you all. We are. Yes. Well, there are different types of aliens. Aliens are just insects. Well, there is a type of alien called the insectoids. Okay, there are. But that's okay. So there was a 1948. Oh, that's a big year, you all. That's after 1947 in terms of military encounters with UFO. Aerial radar was just starting to appear on combat aircraft. So they saw this incident right here with a Black Widow night fighter hit the radar. There was something happening over Japan, okay, is what happened. So they were going to intercept this object. So they got close within gun range, and the object suddenly accelerated from 200 miles per hour to 1,200 miles per hour. It slowed down, allowing the F-61 to catch up. And once again, but this time the object made a sharp turn and dived under the plane, and it was outmaneuvered. So it was a bullet-shaped fuselage. That's what it looked like. A stubby craft, 6 to 9 meters, which is 20 to 30 feet long, with no discernible design features aside from its bullet-shaped fuselage. So it looked like a cylindrical kind of like shape. I would think it would be like that. So that was one right there. Of course, they probably got something like this right here, this UFO. I'm sure that's the most common in 1948. Well, look at that, over Fargo, North Dakota. Are we on there, you all? We are. That's right, we are on here. So they saw a flashing ball of light. Again, another flashing ball of light, and they chased down the target, and it was moving. It was moving. So let's see what they did. I don't know. I'm sure they didn't catch it. I'm sure they didn't, you all. It was just a dogfight. The Mantell accident. I just want to go skim through this, you all. In Fort Knox. Now let me listen to that. That's near me. George Gorman was lucky enough to survive his UFO encounter that same year. So that was 1948. I think that's what it was, 1948, at Fort Knox, Kentucky. Military air controllers received reports of a bright white and red object that was hanging stationary in the sky. And then they quickly launched 4 P-51s to chase the object down. And the remaining pilots could see the object in the sky, but it was too indistinct to make anything out. So Mantell pulled his airplane into a steep climb while the other 2 pilots pulled away. The last they saw of Mantell's fighter was it was spiraling down to the ground and crashing. Oh my gosh, you all. So they think the UFO killed Mantell. They did. They said he didn't have an oxygen mask during the mission and things like that. They didn't even know what they were looking for. The target itself was explained as Venus. Now, you know that's not. How can he chase Venus? Okay, you all. How could he chase Venus? But you know it's not, you all. It's not. It's something much interesting. Oh, this, whatever this is, they ain't gonna let you see it, you all. They won't let you see it at all. So that's, I'm not going to click into any of these, you all. I am not. 1957 air controllers. So let's see what this one was like. Let's see this if you're all just tuning in. I thank you for tuning in. Yeah, let's look at this. So I'm trying to see what type of object this is. They ordered him. They were just a UFO. That's all they say. They wanted to shoot down a UFO. All right. That's all they called it. So we don't even know what it looked like. Okay, Portage County UFO chase. This one too in 1966. They got frozen in shock. An abandoned vehicle. Barney, somebody. I don't want to read all these. The disappearance of Felix Moncala and Robert Wilson. So they're chasing a UFO too. Let me do this, you all. Let me put this on here. You all can you can look at that yourself because it's too long to read because it's making me tired reading it. It's too long. So I'm just I'm just going to put the link there and you all can look at that because it's really too long for me to read right now. And that's okay, you all. It is. No, I don't want to see this, you all. Let me see this. So we've got, this is Area 51, and look at all these images right here. I think I'm here, right here, you all. We got this going. Yes. Um, so we can see that. Oh, this is what we can do too. You all watch this. We can if I close this out, let me close this out. Let's bring up Google Earth because it's going to pull right up. It's going to pull up Google Earth Pro is what it's going to do. Let me close it. Let me stop it. Watch this. Area 51. This is pretty cool. Area 51. Boom. It's made it on the map, you all. That's what it's done. It's made it straight on the map. Let's look at that since we've got Google Earth up. I don't know how many miles it is. I really don't. Look like there's a hole in the ground. What's that hole doing in the ground, you all? Is that a UFO going in the hole? This is images 2022. What is that? I know that this can't be an updated image. Certainly not. You think it is an updated image? Because I'm trying to think, what is that? Because it looked like a deep hole in the ground, and you can go down in that hole. Yeah. I'd like to see some names, but I don't really see any names. I know they got casinos near here too. Somewhere near here. That look like military buildings right here is what this looks like. This looks like a video game. It really does. Looking at this, it reminds me of a video game. Look at that tower. I guess they can stand up there and look at that tower. There it is, you all. So anyhow, that's Area 51. You can see this great big old mountainous range. And I guess that's oil fields or something like that. Is that what those are? Something's there. Okay, you all. So that's enough. So that's Area 51. I'm not going to put that on there, you all, but we're going to look at this. So they got this other thing called, this is from 2019. It kind of looked like CGI. It really did, but I guess they have to use something to get a visual for people, is what I think. Yeah, I've saw some of the things with Jesse Ventura when I used to watch TV. Yeah, he was pretty interesting to watch. So maybe you've never seen space aliens, but recent polls indicate up to 6% of Americans claim to have been abducted by them. You know, I think that number is a lot higher. Okay. I think it probably is higher than 6% because 6% really is not that many. Did they just say Americans? Because you got to count people in other countries too that have been abducted. So they've been abducted, and the experience does not sound pleasant. The extraterrestrials are often said to take their captives to their saucers, lay them out on a table, extract the you-know-what, and impregnate the women. Okay, that's what they do, you all. And I'm sure that some of you have memories of laying on a cold steel table. Okay, I have a memory of being on a cold steel table myself. So I'm sure I'm not the only one. In fact, I've talked to other people who have remembered that lots of times happening to them, okay? And their legs up in a stirrups, okay? A lot of people. So, yeah, if you're all just tuning in, let's do this, you all. So let's go back over here. We're going to go back over here. So a lot of people have. So if you're familiar with UFO lore, you know that there are a couple of common explanations for these breeding experiments. See, they use the word breeding experiments. And that's really, that's what they use, that word right there. One is that the aliens are in a reproductive bind on their home world, and they can no longer successfully procreate. And so they have come to Earth to use humans as incubators to spawn. I don't like that word, spawn alien offspring. You all, that does not sound very pleasant, the word spawn, because I think there was a scary alien movie about that word spawn in it. And I think I remember hearing that word in some kind of a scary alien movie. I don't watch them no more because they're too scary. Yeah. So, how we doing there? How we doing in the comment section, you all? I'm not really reading too much of it at all. I'm not trying to focus. We doing all right? I'm sure we are. Yeah. Okay, so let's look at this. So they got the spawning going on. So the other is that the aliens are producing hybrid beings that will somehow help them take over our planet. Well, that don't sound too nice. To help them take over our planet. This is a theory, you all. They got a theory out there, and we're looking at some of the theories that are out there. This is one particular theory. That's great, Susan, honey. Scientists, of course, are dubious of such claims. After all, there's never been any good evidence that the abductions are taking place. I don't believe. Come on, you all. There's never been any good evidence that abductions are taking place. You know better than that. That makes me laugh. It really does make me laugh. It makes me laugh. Okay, that's fine. No one ever seems to bring a cell phone to take photos or pocket an artifact from these saucers. Oh my goodness gracious. But an instructor at the University of Oxford in England believes the abductions are real. Young-hae Chi, who teaches Korean at the university, also claims to know what the aliens have in mind. In lectures given at the university, he says that they are creating alien-human hybrids as a hedge against that word right there, you all. You see that word? They're creating a hedge against that word right there. This one right here, you all. Right there. So that's okay. To support his unorthodox theory, Chi notes that for several decades, the number of reported alien abductions has risen. He bases this statement on the work of David Jacobs, a retired Temple University historian who has published several books on ufology and who runs the International Center for Abduction Research. Yeah. So, look at this. They got you a vote. Do you think extraterrestrial beings could be living among us? Yeah, I do, but I'm not going to dance on it. I'm not going to vote on that, you all. I'm not going to vote on it. So Jacobs has interviewed more than 1,000 people who claim to have been abducted using hypnotic regression that apparently allows them to recall their unearthly encounters with aliens. Mind you, this too is controversial, and Jacobs himself admit that people should be skeptical of these recollections. Chi takes the claims at face value and links the growing number of abductees cataloged by Jacobs to the increase in the atmospheric things. He doesn't imply a cause and effect. The abduction experiment is not responsible for this. Rather, it's a reaction to it. The extraterrestrials are producing hybrids that can better withstand the rigors of a toastier planet. Well, that would sound like that's terraforming the planet. Doesn't it sound like that to you? The planet is being terraformed for certain species. I think that'd be a better word to use, terraforming it. Yes, I think that's the word we'll use, terraforming the planet. Okay, so by producing a new model of Homo sapiens, this project would eliminate the need for difficult accords, and it will elaborate the projects. Okay, it would also help the aliens themselves, who are said to be living among us by preserving part of their you know what that's carried by the temperature tolerant hybrids. Wow, you all. So, of course, it says, look at that. Zoo hypothesis may explain why we haven't seen any space aliens. So, of course, it says, of course, human alien hybrids, no matter how well adapted to a warmer world, doesn't address the crux of the you know what problem, the unterraformed planet. Even unimproved humans can handle hotter temperatures after all. They already live in a plethora of steamy environments like the Congo, the Amazonia, and downtown Tucson. And rising water could be dealt with too by building dikes and along the seaboards and stuff like that. But it's the other inhabitants of the planet that are problematic. I wonder who those people might be, or things might be, or species might be, or, you know, the crops and the critters that will either migrate toward the poles or they'll just disappear altogether. These, after all, are essential to both our environment and our food supply. Does the Oxford Instructure presume that these other earthly residents are also being re-engineered by the aliens, you all? This is a very interesting way to write an article about aliens. Okay, it really is. If you think about it, it's quite interesting. They're being re-engineered so they can live on this terraformed planet. That's right, they can, you all. Look at that. And in addition, the argument rests on the fact that the two things have simultaneously increased in the past several decades, and the number of reported abductions and the concentration of this you know what. Of course, many other things have risen, including the price of bacon and the number of TV channels. It's a big jump from a coincidence in timing to an alien project to produce a resistant species. This article is really interesting. This weird theory will be vindicated or vanquished by observation. And she says the reason we don't see the aliens is that they are largely unrecognizable. The first generation hybrids still have a physical feature distinctive to aliens, he told NBC News Mock in an email, but from the second generation, they have almost indistinguishably bodily features from those of humans, although they may still carry at least 1/4 of their alien genes. The inability to discern anything odd about the appearance of the hybrids is both convenient and unconvincing. They live among us, but we don't notice. And meanwhile, the concentration of this continues to climb. It seems unlikely that humanity will ultimately find the situation less threatening thanks to the alien rebuild. Okay, the alien rebuild. And he goes on to end, but still, you might want to check your 23rd and me results. Maybe you're already a hybrid. So you all, that's pretty interesting. I'm going to put this right here and click it in here for you all because that was kind of funny. Lightheartedly written, but yet it's bringing up the topic of aliens. Okay, it's bringing up the topic of aliens and abductions and all of that kind of stuff is what it's doing. So, Goblin Honey, let me say something. A lot of people don't get notified. Okay, and it's not just this platform. It's a lot of other platforms on YouTube. They don't get notified. Okay, they don't. I think they feel they're not notification worthy. I just think that at times. I really do, but that's all right. That's fine. That's quite all right, you all. I put that in there. I'm going to close it out. So, alien hybrid program, you all. Let's look at this. An alien human hybrid, a plot to conquer Earth. Yeah, a plot to conquer Earth. WTF. So why the food? We can say, why the food? Yes, it sounds like science fiction, but a preeminent UFOologist believes that for over 100 years, alien abductees around the world have had their DNA harvested and manipulated by aliens. Okay, I don't think that's too hypothetical or anything. I think that that's probably is true for over 100 years, you all. Yeah. So let's look at this, you all. So we got this. We got this picture right here. We do. Wonder if that was a book. Do you think this probably was a book and they just got something out of here? You know that they don't got little antennas like a snail or a whatever insect has these antennae up here. Butterfly, maybe. They're not butterflies. Their eyes are too big for a butterfly, you all. If you're just tuning in, we're talking about aliens in Area 51 and the alien something takeover theory. How about that? That's what we're talking about. The takeover theory by the aliens. So let's put this back here, you. I'll just read a little bit more. Now, if this is going to be too long, I won't read it all. So are alien human hybrids living among us? And if so, what's their nefarious endgame? What's their nefarious endgame? Dr. David Jacobs, in his research on UFOs and alien abductions, has come to a shocking conclusion. The extraterrestrials have been harvesting and using our DNA for over a century. The goal is making alien human hybrids. Now, I know what you're thinking. That's crazy. It sounds like a plot of a sci-fi movie. It can't possibly be real. But I assure you, David struck me as an intelligent man. He taught history at Temple University for 35 years, over 35 years. And he spent the better part of his life interviewing hundreds of people who have recalled over 2,000 abduction events. And the details were so strikingly similar that he eventually became convinced of their truth. Now, this is Dr. Jacobs. Right there, you all. He says they're living among us just like everybody else. It's assimilation. It's planetary acquisition. Well, that's a good business term. It is a good business term. That I've seen that word acquisition used, but this is really putting it out there. It's a simulation and it's planetary acquisition. Well, but you know, there was this space treaty. I went over this space treaty today, and how come that treaty? If any nation lands on the moon, sends anything to the moon or any other celestial orbit, in a celestial object, they cannot lay claim. They can't. But then it sounds like these aliens, this theory, that they can lay claim to the earth and it's theirs. Okay, that's what it sounds like to me. I think they need their own thing, but you know what? They did sign a treaty. Okay, they did. They signed a treaty, you all. So let's see this, you all. Come on now. So almost every aspect of this phenomena is astonishing. It's amazingly bizarre and yet logical all the way through. And so he said, it's hard for anybody to imagine it ever happening. And yet we have millions of people who are saying the same thing. Millions of people, you all. So he was reluctant to believe in such an astounding claim as human alien hybrids. But his latest book, Walking Among Us, The Alien Plan to Control Humanity, attests he's come around. So the book concluded his research on the subject, and he's going to have a final book about the abduction research methodology. And the thought of alien hybrids living among us is too much for him. After all, after learning that, he said, I think I did the best I can do. I want to sit around and I want to watch TV. for the rest of my life. I just want to be happy. He just wants to be happy, you all, is what he said. You know, when you think about something like that. Did we ever read this? The Discover the Evidence for Alien Abductions in the first part of our interview with Dr. David Jacobs. So we'll just look at this. An alien hybrid uses telepathic mind control on an abductee. And these drawings were all done by people that he interviewed. We'll just go look through this. We'll look through it, you all, because it's kind of long. Are there any physical signs that someone has been abducted by aliens? Some people have. Let's do this. They find a dimple, indentation, or fully formed geometric scars on their bodies, as though they were branded and have been healed. Some people report pulling out little rods of metal from their skin, and we have many photos and evidence jars to prove it. So, dimple indentations. Do y'all got dimple? Do you have dimple indentations? Do any of you have that? I have it. I've had it for years. When I say years, ever since I was a teenager. Okay, I have one. This is the first time I heard about this, because I've always wondered, where did that come from? Okay, where did it come from? Yeah. Susan, that made me laugh. That makes me laugh, you all. It really does. It makes me laugh. That's. Oh my goodness gracious. Yes, so they have that. And what is the percentage of abductees that have physical marks like these? 100%. 100%. Everyone has some sort. Sometimes they last for a very short time, and some people have shown me stuff they've had for years. Are there physical signs? Some people will go out and get a pregnancy test, and it will come back positive. And they wonder, how could it be? I had my uterus removed 10 years ago, and my doctors assured me that I'm infertile. I have not been intimate with anyone in years. So thank you, Johanna. Yeah, like anyone would do, they will panic and they'll call their doctor immediately, you all. People are saying these things, and it's all described in the same way. Are they violent? Are these aliens violent? I've heard people tell stories of fighting and kicking aliens off of them because, you know, they were a woman and the alien was on top of them. They were literally kicking them off. I mean, if you was a male and that was happening to you too, maybe you were fighting them too. Okay, but I have heard this happening to women, and it's very serious if you've ever been in that situation. Okay, it's not anything to laugh about. Really, it's not. So are they violent? It's clear that they put abductees into a kind of fugu. I never heard that word before. Fugu state and order them around. They want abductees to remain sedate and compliant. But once in a while, an abductee might somehow slip loose from this twilight state and gain some consciousness, running down the hallway and screaming, "Where am I?" So what's one of the most surprising things? Yeah. Okay. Let's listen to this, you all. Now this is important. This really is important. So although some aspects of this research have filtered into pop culture, most still don't understand. Let me read this, you all. This is very important. That abductions always follow hereditary lines. So if you are an abductee, your children will be abductees. and at least one of your parents was one as well. To our knowledge, no one has ever been purposefully abducted whose parents were not abductees. And again, there's a reason for this too. Um, that's true. I can attest to that. I really can attest to that. My grandmother, she always would complain about being followed by these men in black. And I don't think the men in black show up unless you have had some type of contact with extraterrestrial, and or if you want to call them interdimensional beings. I don't think they're going to show up just because you're just somebody and nothing's going on, okay? Nothing's going on. And it was really, really interesting. When I was at my mother's the other day, we was talking about UFOs because she saw something on the TV. They're talking about UFOs, and she goes, I told her husband that when we lived in Charlestown, right out there in the backyard up in the sky, there was three UFOs. Okay, I only remembered one when I was little, but she saw them out the kitchen window. 3 of them up there in the sky with the red, the green, and I think the blue light. I said, Mom, I didn't know you saw that too. I said, because I saw it, because I was standing underneath that big old tower right next to the elementary school looking up at it. And she said, no, there were 3 of them. She said, your dad saw it too. She said, and the 2 of them left, but the one stayed. And I never knew that until this past week that she also seen them, and so did my dad. And then I said, because I remember going to the playground a few hours later with my brothers and sisters while they went and checked something out at the elementary school, and I was swinging on a swing, and there was that UFO up there. And I remember running home at that age. I was probably around 5 or 6 years old or something like that, but I never knew she saw it too. So there is something to it, you all, there is. So to our knowledge, and again, there is a reason for this too. Over the past 20 years or so, people stopped talking about having their sperm or eggs collected, and instead they started telling stories of hybrid babies. Wow. Kinley, I don't know. I can't remember nothing about my wrist. Okay, I can't. Okay, I really can't. No. And I've never had no regression either. I'm kind of scared to have any regression, any memories brought back. I really am. So what was the first clue that alien abductions had taken a scary new direction? Over 20 years, people started telling him something that he never heard before. They would be taken, now see, I've heard this, they would be taken to some place else in their town or city to meet another person, all still under control of the aliens. A woman was instructed to go to a certain corner, I've never heard of this, to meet someone, and she heads over and waits, and she sees a regular guy, but he isn't. He takes her to an apartment and have normal-looking people living together. She notices that all the apartment's furniture is pushed off into a heap, and the man asks her, how can we make this look normal? And they are all hybrids. Have you all heard of that? I have not heard of that. This is making me, it's making my ears burn. It really is. So she tells him, no, you can't do that. The couch has to be over here, and you have to put a little table in front of it. Then a few days later, she's with him and another hybrid up in a supermarket, and it's the same thing. What is this? When do you eat it? She's teaching them that what a loaf of bread is, an egg. Let me see this, you all. How did we get this thing? So this is a picture of a meeting this hybrid and teaching them about the culture. Wow, you all, I'm having a suntan here. Having a hot flash suntan is is what I'm having, you all. So this is really, this is wild. I've never read anything like this. It's really getting into a lot of detail here. So events like these weren't some strange report. Every person he was working with, from new relationships to those he spent with, were reporting that. They were doing this for a reason. The whole thing, from sperm and egg collection to implanting the fetuses and growing hybrids, was all about one thing. They're living here among us just like everybody else. It's assimilation. It's planetary acquisition. Well, I don't think they look like that. I really don't. But this is supposed to be in the UFO. Okay, yeah, let's see this. An alien holds a hybrid infant aboard a UFO as recalled by an abductee, and those babies have now grown into adults. I've heard about babies like that. I have. So let's look at this. What can we do to address this threat? Something's going to happen in the future. You all, this is a theory. This is somebody writing something, and it's their thought on it. It's their theory. We're not sophisticated enough, and we don't have legitimacy. Could anybody be a hybrid? So though you be a 90 or 99% hybrid human, they'll always be different. They'll always be different, you all. You wouldn't know them. You could meet them on the way to a sporting event. I don't think you would really know. I really don't. They think the abductions might actually be sleep paralysis or some other psychological condition. Why do you think people have a hard time believing in it? Because ghosts have been popular for thousands of years. Aliens, however, don't. Ghosts some way fits into people's religious and spiritual worldviews, and aliens don't. The phenomenon hasn't had the benefit of centuries of folklore, and of course the aliens aren't offering something as nice as talking with a dead relative. Everything about this subject is disturbing and fantastic, and there's really no good incentive for someone to want to believe it, especially considering the social and professional stigma attached to it. How do you stop a whatever when nobody believes into it? Do you ever try to document it? What evidence do you have? If the U.S. population was 250 million back then, that would mean 5.1 million people were alien abductees. Wow. That's interesting, you all. I'm going to put this here so you all can see it. That's what we're going to do, whether you want me to or not, because I looked at it, you all. This has a lot of interesting things in it, and you can look at that yourself. You really can, and this may not be for everybody, you all, but I want to know what some people are saying, because I've never read any research like this before, and I learned something. I really did. Yeah. Cindy Herring. That's funny. You worry about the men in white with straight jackets because your kids think you're crazy. That is kind of funny. Hello there, Andy, Guatemala. Yes, you are. That's funny. Oh, my goodness gracious, you are. That's funny. That was a good joke. Oh, no, look at this. Alien hybrid program unveiled, you all. Let me do this. I don't want these. There. I want to get rid of it, you all. A top secret video smuggled out of Dulce, I probably ain't saying it right, base in New Mexico, shows evidence of alien human hybridization program in process in which the two species will be combined. Oh, you all, I can't read that. I can't read it. Okay, you all, I'm not allowed to read that. I am not allowed to read that, you all. I'm not allowed to read it. 1, 2, 3. That's it. I'm not allowed to read that, you all. Okay, I'm not. So let me put this back to me. I will not put the link there. Okay, hello. I won't put the link there, you all. I will not. Let me see this. I've got this on me. I'm going to do this one right here, you all. Yeah, you all did not. I did not open my mouth. Didn't open my mouth at all on that. I didn't. I went zip just like that. Yeah, that's what I did. I didn't want to read it, you all. We are almost done. I promise you, we're almost done. Look at this. A top secret alien plan to take over the Earth nears completion as the alien human hybrids infiltrate and integrate into human society. Well, in an interview with this right here at Temple University, we got Dr. Jacobs. Yeah, so he shared his stuff. Controversial studies of alien abduction syndrome. University of California, strange experiences of alien abductees could be explained due to normal hallucinatory powers of the, brain. You mean we're not going to have AI? That's not going to be it. It's not going to be AI. Come on now. So it's they say that now I can believe this. Malevolent alien forces to take over our world and enslave humanity is progressing toward completion, yet the whole world is unaware of it. Now, if there was to be something like that, it would most definitely be right here. This type right here. The malevolent. That's not good. Malevolent aliens. Okay, it wouldn't be benevolent. It would be the malevolent ones, and they don't have the best interests in heart for humanity. They don't. Okay, so it would be that, you all. It would. I don't think that you can safely say that, say they were making hybrids. You can't really say that all of them, every single one of the species of hybrids is bad. You couldn't say that, because you'd have to say that all human beings are one way or another. I don't think you could say this about this either. I don't think you could say they're all one way. I don't think you can. I think that would be quite judgmental. I really do. But that's okay. That's all right. He claims that he's got this alien mind control program, and they're going to break into the levels where, oh, look at this. He was able to decipher the alien mind control program and break into the subconscious level where he found layers of security codes that block the alien abductees from recalling their experiences and sharing them with researchers. See, he also did that. Look at that, you all. Dr. Jacobs. After interviewing several alien abductees, he began developing methods to overcome the mind control codes that are planted to make alien abductees forget their traumatic experiences during the abductions. You use that technique and a UFO appeared? That's interesting, you all. Because now really, if you think about it, if you were abducted, you wouldn't want to remember it. If it was really scary and something, you would want to have your mind wiped. Okay, you would. You want to have a mental block and block it totally out. You wouldn't want to know about it if it was that traumatic. Because how could you live a normal life if that happened? I'm not saying it's right to be treated like that if it was really bad. I'm not saying that's right at all. It's wrong. But if I had a choice, wipe my brain. I don't want to remember it. I don't. If you traumatize me like that. But if you did traumatize me like that, and I ever do come to remember it somehow, some way, I'm not going to be very happy about it. I'm not. And I'm sure a lot of other people wouldn't be too happy either, even after the fact, okay? After the fact. So, I guess you all could say that that would be kind of like, I can akin it to, if you're having surgery, okay, that you're being put under anesthesia so you don't feel all that pain, okay? Or you're given something for the pain. You're just put out so you don't remember it, okay? That is the right thing to do. You don't want to feel all that pain, so I guess you could compare it to something like that, I guess, you all. That's one way I could compare it. I could. So he deciphered the alien control program, and he broke into the alien security codes, and he struggled to pick the locks. Listen how they write this. He picked the locks of the mind control systems, and he apparently triggered embedded alarm systems that signaled security hybrids that someone was trying to gain unauthorized access. You all, this is suspenseful here, you all. It is. He triggered that somebody was trying to access that. Does that sound far-fetched? It really does, because if you got these alarms on your house and somebody's trying to break in, it's going to set off the alarm bells. He's talking about people breaking into their minds and stuff and triggering that. Yeah, that's what he's talking about. That is that sounds really wild. So despite the threats, he was able to unlock the memories of several alien abductees and uncover deep secrets about the nature of the traumatizing experiments. That's making me lightheaded, you are reading that. It really is. I don't want to look at that. I don't want to see about the recurrence of the sexual reproductive elements in the testimonies of the alien abductees at the first hint of their biological reproductive hybridization and genetic engineering motives underlying alien abductions. You got that? Oh my goodness gracious. He has the apparent obsession of aliens with human functions, and the detail and testimonies of alien abductees indicated that the aliens were involved in this program to create a new race of hybrids. So they wanted to keep their hybridization project secret. Oh, look. The Lyrians, am I saying it right? The Lyrians are genetically related to the Pleiadians or the Nordic aliens, both being a humanoid species. Did you all know that they were humanoids? Yeah. The Lyrians are genetically related to the Pleiadians or Nordic aliens, both being a humanoid species. That's really interesting. Lyrans. Okay, Lyrans. We can say Lyrans. Yeah. Humans and the Pleiadians share a common ancestral line in the Lyrans. I want to say Lyrans. During a period of war, millions of years ago, the Lyrans escaped from their planet in the Lyra constellation and moved to the Pleiades star cluster region. But others traveled through space and discovered Earth about 200,000 years ago. Christine, honey, you been drinking? You yes, that is a little blurry, and it looks like you've got some root beer floats on your little emoticons there, Christine. It looks like you got some root beer floats sitting there. Oh my goodness gracious. That's okay, Christine, honey. That is quite all right. Yes, that's fine. So the Lyrans settled in the Pleiades systems and evolved and became known as the Pleiadian or Nordic aliens. They evolved rapidly and became spiritually advanced. But Lyrans who settled on Earth failed to evolve spiritually. Aw, that's sad. I think I read something about that too. They failed to evolve. This was because The Lyrans fell under the reptilian alien race that arrived on Earth at least 600,000 years. You're going to have one, Rosie Pie? Yes, you can. 600,000 years before them. Humans, according to this conspiracy theorist, evolved from the Lyrans through the genetic engineering and manipulation of their DNA by the evil reptilians, a warlike, bloodthirsty, shape-shifting species that originated from the Alpha Draconis star system in the Orion constellation. Well, I just totally reject that I evolved from the the evil reptilian warlike bloodthirsty shape-shifting species. Okay. I reject that. No, I did not evolve from the reptilians, you all. I don't think I did. No, I'm not going to claim it. I'm not. And most humans have about 5% reptilian blood, but some, especially the members of the European royal families, are 50% reptilian. This, according to the theorists, explains why Queen Elizabeth is able to shapeshift. You all, I did not know that this right here article was going into that. Okay, I didn't, but this it's kind of entertaining, but it's very informative, you all. Okay, it's informative, and I'm letting it all sink in. Even though I might giggle, I'm going to let it all sink in. Is what I'm doing. That's right, you all. We can do it. We can read it. Yes, we can. So the goal was to create an advanced alien human reptilian hybrid species that would form the elite classes of humanity. It is the element of the reptilian blood in human being that accounts for the evil aspects of the human nature, such as the warlikeness. Now, I can agree with that. I can agree with that because I don't like the bad stuff. I don't like the evil aspects of the human nature. It's not very nice. It isn't. It is believed that the evil alien reptilians and greys are nearing completion of their program to insert the full complement of their DNA into the human genome and alter the human DNA to create a new alien hybrid species. They want to implant them, and they want it to spread rapidly in the human population until humanity is overwhelmed and taken over by the aliens, you all. Well, that was a rather dramatic story article. That was a rather dramatic article, you all. It is full of excitement. I'm going to put it here so you all can read that. I really am, because it's interesting. Yes, it's interesting, you all. They're going to do it. Boom. So let me see, which one was that. I'm going to close that one out, you all. We got these aliens right here. We know that they want to take over. And they're kind of scary. I was told when I first started this, if you ever hear like this sound outside, like clicking like that, don't look at it. That's what I heard. Don't look. Don't go out there, because it's what is some kind of a species of aliens out there. The insectoids or something like that. The praying mantis, if you heard those clicking sounds. You ever been told that if you hear a clicking sound, it means they're nearby. And yeah, I don't want those praying mantis coming near me. The ringing in your ears. Yeah. Yeah, you all, that's right. That's right. That if you all ever hear, if you're ever outside and you hear it, and you know it's not crickets chirping, but it's something like going. It's like in that movie. Did you ever see those alien movies, or you ever see it where they're making those clicking, click, 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 click sounds or something like that? It's like when the alien creature is nearby. That's kind of scary. Yeah, that's real scary, you all. So they look a little scary, but they're not all bad. Okay, they're not all bad. Just like humans, they're not all bad either. So we got this right here. I think we already read this. Okay, oh, let's look at this, you all. So they want to take over the earth and eliminate global elite. Wait, let me look at this. The dark alien agenda. The alien human hybrid species will take over the earth and eliminate the global elite by 2029. Well, why do they want to eliminate the global elite? Why do they? Why would they want? Well, or do you think that they're going to let them? Do you think that they're going to let them eliminate them? Now, see, this is an interesting conspiracy theory that's out there. I'd never heard that before. I didn't. Yeah, I didn't, you all. Wait. There was somebody that wanted to focus on, who was that? George Soros. He wanted to focus on the threat of AI because he was really scared about it. So he wanted to really focus on that because he didn't like it. That's what I think I heard or read. But let's look at this, you all, just ever so briefly. So according to these reports circulating in the UFO and alien theory blogosphere, the alien species have set 2029 as the date for completion of a decades-long plan. Decade. Is a decade 100 years? Is it 10 years? A decade, is it 100 years or 10 years? A century? Aliens plan to force the current crop. See what they got? The current crop, they're just like crops of food, of world leaders and global elite to make way for the new ruling elite. Yes, you are. The new ruling elite. And according to this, it's going to be a takeover of the world you-know-what and replacement of the global you-know-whats by the new alien hybrid species. It's the accumulation of a project initiated by a coalition of alien races, including the Greys and the Reptilians, after the historic Grenada Treaty was signed with the administration of President Dwight D. Eisenhower in 1954. The 1954 Grenada Treaty required the U.S. government to grant the aliens permission to establish underground bioresearch facilities across the country. The treaty stipulated that the facilities will be used by alien researchers for a project to create a new alien-human hybrid species that is better adapted than the original gray reptilian aliens to conditions on Earth. In return, the aliens would grant the U.S. government access to advanced technology that would help speed up the U.S. aerospace and military research programs. And to facilitate this alien program, the U.S. government granted aliens permission to abduct the animals and cattle and a limited number of humans. You all, have you heard that? Yeah. So they needed to have the animals and the humans into harvesting, and they had to have, you know what, they wanted to have access to superior exotic alien technology to win the war. So look at that. So the Area 51, the best known underground bases are Area 51 and the Dulce Reptilian Gray Underground Facility. I'm going to type this in. I am. I'm going to type this into Google. I'm going to type this into Google Earth and see if Google Earth pulls that up. I am. Because I'm going to wonder if it's going to do it. It could. We're going to look at it, you all. We're going to see if it's going to pull the Dulce. Stop right there. We're going to come over here and type in this. Walmart Supercenter. Did you see that? Uh, that that's no, you are that is so wild. That did not look right, you all. That is no. No, that's too wild, you all. Come on now. Let me try this. Let me do this again. No. Okay, okay. We're going somewhere else. Okay. Oh my gosh. This is picking out all the Walmart supercenters. No, let me close this out, you all. I'm going to close that out and I'm going to put it in again. It's going to be a fresh start. I'm going to type that in one more time, you all, because that is let's do it one more time because that is too wild. Let's do this Google Earth. Let's do it. So I'm going to put you over here on, I'm going to put you in Australia. That's all I'm going to do. And we're going to put this right here. Dulce reptilian gray. You all see it up here? We're going to push the play button. I typed it all in. Wow. That, no. Yeah, that's, that is wild, you all. Why is that around my area is what I want to know. I don't want to, I don't want to, this stuff around my area, you all. That's really strange. I'm telling you what. That's strange. Okay, it is. It's really strange and I have no idea why that showed up, but that's the strangest thing I've seen by putting something in on Google Earth. That is crazy. Well, at least we know that we're not crazy. I'm not crazy and you're not crazy, but that Google Earth, that's crazy. That is crazy. So you all, let me do this. Let's go back here because they're not doing us right. Because we put that in there and that's what they did. Okay, they did. Um, they have, they're talking about the survivors. In 1979, they claim there have been one of few human survivors of the alleged bloody August the 79th firefight between the aliens and the U.S. Army Special Forces at the Dulce facility, in which more than 60 government agents were killed. Okay, 60 government agents were killed. Um, Earth consists literally of two worlds, the known world on the surface of the earth and the unknown underground world consisting of government agents working secretly with aliens in the linked subterranean facilities scattered across the country. Copy the whole thing with that. Okay, well let's try it one more time. We can do. I only wanted to do that one part. That was it. But I'll try to do the whole part. I just did this right here. Okay, we're gonna try it one more time, you all. I'm going to close out of that. I'll go right back in it. I'll bring it back up. Google Earth one more time and see what they have to do. I want to close it. I'm going to stop you right there, and I'm going to get rid of the. I'm going to take the period off. So I'm going to go. Nope. Walmart Supercenter. Shelbyville Road, Middleton, Kentucky. I don't know what to think about that. I really don't. Yeah. You think CGI? You think somebody's playing a joke on us, you all? Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, 'cause that's what it did right there. Oh well. Um. Yeah, let me put this back to me, you all. I don't know how long I've been on here, but I'm supposed to be finishing this up, you all. We're talking about these underground facilities. We're talking about the aliens in Area 51, is what we're talking about. Aliens in Area 51. Look, recent intense coverage of alien and UFO news by the media, according to disclosure advocates, is part of the drip feeding of the masses. They're drip feeding. It's like a what do you call that thing? You hook up to something in preparation for disclosure by the president by the end of 2016. Well, it didn't happen. Okay, excuse me. Disclosure in 2016 to 2017, according to theorists, will be followed by a takeover in 2029. Well, you better be hurrying up, okay, with this right here, because it has not happened yet. You need to hurry up. So disclosure advocates are putting pressure on President Obama. Well, he didn't do it. Okay, so, and she didn't do it right there. So that didn't happen yet, you all. It did not happen. Did I put this in here, you all? I don't know if I put this link in here. Did you all see it? I'm going to put it in here again. We're going to put this link in here. Right there. So, we're back here to these Area 51s. Right here. That's I don't know about that. I really don't. I'm going to open that up again, and I'm going to write something silly on here. I'm going to write something silly on here. What can I write? Let me find something strange to write. Oh, I don't know. I really don't know what to write in there. I'll just write the word Dulce. How about that? Well, see, now it just writes the word Dulce that has the word Dulce in it. But when we put the whole entire word in it, you seen what it did? It took the whole entire word. And I've already closed it out, I think. I did. I closed it all out. So that's okay, you all. So we know if you're just tuning in, I put in this right here. Dulce Gray. Dulce Reptilian Gray is what I did. I went over here and I put this in here, and it turned into Walmarts. It turned into all the Walmarts. And then you search a little bit more, and it takes it all the way up to J. And I have no idea why that's saying that, why it's doing that, and why it's in this area of the United States. I don't know. That's all I'm saying. All I know is there's something with Area 51. There's something with the aliens there, and you can't fly over Area 51. And people have been abducted, okay? It's not make-believe. It's not. And their minds have been wiped clean, okay? Some people have indentions on their body and marks, and they pull out pieces of metal from their body. And they say that abductions are hereditary. They follow down the lineage. You will not, it's not known for a person to be abducted if either of their parents have not been abducted. They follows the family history line for some strange reason. So yeah, this is really interesting, you all. I want to thank each and every one of you all for being on here and watching, because I learned something, and it's good to have people on here learning together. And thank you, moderators. I hope the comments were fine. It doesn't seem to be a problem. So thank you all for your comments too. This is really interesting. And it ended at the Walmarts. That's okay. That is. So with that being said, hello wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello from my heart to yours. Love you. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. And you might want to check your subscription status, because I've looked back on the past 5 or 6 videos, and they have minused a lot of subscribers on those videos. I think they do that. They unsubscribe people. So you might want to check your subscription. And you might want to click like on this video, because this is a really informative video with lots of documentation and lots of different theories out there as to what is coming our way. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, and thank you. Love you.